Alright, good afternoon everyone. I want to make a quick video here just going through everything there is about the swing bands right now. Okay, swing bands is a relatively new tool, and to get to it, you'll have to go to your invite only, and it'll be right here, the TVT, it's got the dashes in front of it, the TV Trades swing bands. Just click on it one time, and it'll show up on your chart, just like that. Okay, now I'm going to put it on both of these charts. This is the gold, and this is the ES, right? So I'm going to put one on each chart. You can just go through it a little bit at a time. Alright, so by default, the swing bands just go on the chart like this. Now what you are looking for is for a black arrow outside the band. When you get a black arrow outside the band, you're going to take the trade in the direction once that bar closes, right? You buy it, in this case you'd sell the open of the next bar. In this case here you'd buy the open of the next bar. In this case, well, that's not really outside the band. In this case here you'd sell the open of the next bar. In this case right here you'd buy the open of the next bar. Okay, in this case here you'd sell it, in this case here you'd buy it. It's as simple as that. Now, the black arrows are not going to come as a surprise to you because the gray arrows come first. The gray arrows will always come before the black arrow. Alright, that's the way it's programmed. The gray arrows will always come before a black arrow. You won't always get a black arrow after a gray arrow. Most of the time you will, but not always. And for the basic, just default use, without looking at any of the other features, this is all you need. You can just put this one thing on and you can trade it like this. Now there are alerts associated with this. If you want to turn alerts on, you can go up here to swing bands right here, click on the three dots and hit add alert to swing bands. That is going to put it on like this. Now you have any alert function call, which is going to put any alert on if you want. It has a default message in here. You can change this if you want. You can put whatever time frame you want, what symbol you're on. It is going to give you some of that information anyway. Your notifications in here, you can have it notify you in the app. If you have the app on your phone, this is how you'd have that, and it would buzz on your phone whenever you get one of these alerts. Show toast notification, that's the thing that pops up on your screen. You could have it send you an email, whatever email you put in when you created your TradingView account. The webhook URL, that's what I use to send it into the other applications like the Telegram app and stuff like that. You can have it play a sound on your computer if you want. You can have it send a plain text. It's a little redundant. You don't really need that one anymore. Those are different notifications that you can do, alright, for the alerts. Now, that is any alert function call. So that's going to happen anytime you get a gray arrow or a black arrow or anytime there's anything associated with any kind of an alert. I also created it so you can do just the buy alerts, just the sell alerts. Those are the buy black arrows pointing up, or the sell black arrows, the black arrows pointing down, or the buy notice and the sell notice, those are the gray arrows pointing up or down. You can do those individually. One thing I didn't tell you yet that you need to make sure you do is do once per bar close, so you get notified on each bar when it closes that there is an alert. Alright, that is how you put it on. That is how you use just the basic tool. Now, I recently added something else to make your trading even more fruitful and better. We added the thing called the midbands. Now by default they are not on. There are 3 different lines you can have in here. Oh, I forgot to tell you, when you add an alert, you gotta check these boxes. Before you create an alert over here, you have to check these boxes. Alright, when you do that, you do enable all swing trade alerts. That's the one that has all of them. You can do this for the buy or sell triggers, the alerts and the gray bars, black and gray bars. You have to do that. Alright. The show G line, let's turn that on. I'll just show you what it is. Okay, there it is. Now what that shows you is it's a faster version of these outer bands is what it is. It's a much faster version of the outer bands. It's like 8 times as fast as the outer bands are. But it helps you see when prices change in direction. And if you were to happen to have a few stop outs in a row, which doesn't happen all that often, but if you get into a strong trend, something like this right here, you get into a strong trend and you get a stop out on something like this, sometimes there'll be one right after it. There isn't in this case. I'll find you an instance where there is, but there isn't in this case. In this case here, you would have had enough room to get your stop to break even, I think, right there anyway. But you can look at this G line if you have an entry criteria. Let me see if I can find one. Well, this is what you'd like to see. You'd like to see the entry be below the outer band and below the G line. After you have a stop out, if you're going to trade again in that direction, try to have that happen. Okay, let me see if I can find an instance where that did happen. This is gold today, and I'm see something like this right here, where this one right here would have stopped you out, and this one right here hooked both lines right there. So you could have bought that one right there, and it would have eventually given you a little bit of profit through here, maybe get you a chance to get out at break even. Okay, but that's the kind of thing that I'm talking about. That's what I use the G line for. If you're going to use the G line, that's what you can use it for. Now, I also have these things called midbands. Let me turn them on. All right, so you can see the midbands are in the middle of these right here. And I'm going to save the repainting stuff for later. You see this up here? It says endpoint, no repaint mode. I'll get into that in a few minutes. But the midbands, obviously they're pretty close to the middle of this, and it gives you a direction, if it's going down or if it's going up. And what I did in here is I showed other opportunities where you can trade with the trend, because the black arrows are usually going to be counter trend trades. If it's going up like this, it's at the end of the trend. It tells you to short it and go down. Right here, it told you to go. Well, this one wasn't outside the band, so it's not going to give you anything there. This one wasn't outside the band, so it's not going to give you anything there. But this one right here, clearly you're in a downtrend, and it's telling you to go long because it's near the end of the trend. Okay, this one did work out a little. Gave you a little bit of profit in there. This is a 9-tick range on the gold, so that probably gave you 8 to 9 ticks profit in there, which with 10 contracts on that I usually trade is $800 to $900 or $80 to $90 with one contract. Either way, these are counter trend, and I want to give you an opportunity to trade with the trend as well. That's what the midbands are for. Now the midbands have a couple different looks to them. All right, when you have it red like this, and you have a bar that straddles the midband, it's usually going to give you this right here. Now the thing that you don't see down here is it's going to do this when the trigger comes out of the overbought. So if I throw the trigger down here, you don't need to have the trigger on there, but if I put the trigger on, then you'll see when it comes out of the overbought and it straddles the midband, it's going to give you that indication. It comes out of the overbought and straddles the midband. It'll give you that indication. Okay, that's what you're looking at. And so you can see it makes a great opportunity right there. This one didn't work out so well, but this one right here was a great opportunity. And going in the other direction, nope, this is still one right here, going short. When the midbands are red, you're going to sell the open of the bar after. Okay, when they're blue, you're going to buy the open of the bar after. Okay, so that is another opportunity to trade using the midbands. Okay, now there is another instance where there are trading opportunities, and that is when price is in a trend and it's going down, but it doesn't straddle the midband. It's in the upper area up here. When price is going down, it's in the upper area. When it's going up, and it's in the lower area. Those are other opportunities you can have to trade, and I wanted to identify those for you too. Those are in here. If you click on the properties, those are the intra midband bars. Click on that, and it's going to show them as white bars right now. See, white bars like that right there. This right here, it's in the bottom. It came out of the oversold in the trigger. Came out of the oversold, and it's in the bottom right here. It tells you to buy it. Okay, that's basically what it's suggesting. You don't have to put those on. It's just additional things that you can use to basically just get more trades. If you only have like a half an hour window in a day, and you want to have as many trading opportunities as you can, then you'll have this, and you'll have the midbands, and you have the black arrows, and you have 3 different ways you can trade, and it's almost always in a half an hour, depending on what market you're trading. In a half an hour, there's almost always going to be an opportunity for you to place at least 1, 2, maybe 3 trades with a single market. You could be doing the ES on a 4 range or a 7 range. You could be doing the gold on a 9 range. Whatever you want to do. Okay? Now, those are a lot of words. Risk management for this. If you go to, well, this is where you take the trial, but if you go to Target View Trades, did I spell that wrong? TargetViewTrades.com. If you go to TargetViewTrades.com, just scroll down to right here. This is what I use for the risk management. Now, it's based upon the bar size. It's not based upon the market. It's the bar size. And it shows to break even after this amount of ticks, but I actually, with the NQ, for instance, I have a 19 tick range with a 25 tick stop that trails to break even after 10 ticks. I actually trailed to break even plus 4 ticks after 10 ticks. And the 9 tick range, I trailed to break even plus 1 tick after 5 ticks in profit. The 4 tick and the 7 tick, I trailed to break even after 4 ticks. But I just want to show you those. That's the way I have my DOM set up. I actually trade it. I actually go to break even plus in 2 of those that I typically use every day. That is it. So let me just do a recap. Let's shut that off. The first thing you do, turn it on, put that on. All right. It works all by itself. You don't have to change a thing. If the arrow is pointing down and it's outside the bands, you sell the open of the next bar. If it's pointing up and it's outside the bands, you buy the open of the next bar. Okay. Outside the bands pointing down, buy, sell. Outside the bands pointing up, buy. Alright, it's as simple as that. Now, if you want to have more trades, you can put the mid bands on. Okay, now with the mid bands, if you have a purple, you buy the open of the next bar. Purple, when it's blue, when the mid bands are blue, you have a purple one, you buy the open of the next bar. Okay, if the bands are red and you have a purple one, you sell the open of the next bar. Now, the white bars are like this. Okay, if you have a white bar and and the bands are red, then you want to sell the open of the next bar. If you have a white bar and the bands are blue, you want to buy the open of the next bar. Okay, if you happen to have a black arrow with a white band, that is usually a really good trade opportunity. It doesn't happen very often, but usually when it does, it's a nice win. Okay, usually when it does, it's a nice win. The G line is what I use. This is a summary. The G line is what I use if you get stopped out. If you're in a strong trend and you get stopped out and you have another opportunity that pops up right away, don't take it unless it hooks both the G line and the outer band. Okay, or you can just skip taking the next trade until the market corrects itself. You know, if you're in a really strong trend, wait till the market takes a break before you get back into it. You might have two or three trades in a row that are going down, and 2 or 3 trades in a row might stop out if the market is really strong. It might stop out. It might not find the end of the trend. So let it find the end of the trend and then start trading again. And that's it. The risk management, the alerts. You can go back and look at the alert part of this if you want to. I'm not going to go through that all again. But the risk management. Oh, sorry, that's not the risk management. This is the risk management. Here, if you go to targetviewtrades.com, this is where the risk management is, right here. Okay, targetviewtrades.com. Risk management is right there. All right, that is it. I wanted to do just a quick video so you can all see how to use the swing trades. It's really a great tool, and it's been a game changer for a lot of people. A lot of people that were struggling before now see a really simple process. And you know, remember, the gray arrows tell you there's an arrow coming. If you have a gray arrow and the bar closes down, if you have a gray arrow pointing up and the bar closes down, it's not going to be a black arrow. But if you have a gray arrow and the next bar is about to close up, it's usually going to be a black arrow. So be ready for that. All right, be ready for that. That's it. Thanks for watching, everybody.